It is Thursday, May 1st. Welcome. I am Ralph Michaels for WagerTalk, breaking down both of tonight's NBA games. Guys, I'm going to start with the nightcap. Make sure you stick around for the Knicks Detroit game. I've got a system that's 36 and 13, 73.5%, and 33 and 13, 72%. Stay tuned. Well, we have the Clippers, a 6.5-point favorite, a total of 212. Both home teams are down 2-3. I have some situations I'll talk about in the second game for you. But boy, the Nuggets looked lost after losing by 34 points in game 3. What happened? Back-to-back victories. Now, while Denver can be happy with back-to-back victories and the Clippers can say we're back at home, one thing is scary. Denver did win that game 131-115. And that was with Jokic only having 13 points, shooting 4 of 13. That is a concern for the Clippers. You hold Jokic to 13 and you still lose the game by 16 points. He, of course, is a 3-time MVP because even though he had trouble scoring, he still had 12 assists and 10 rebounds for a playoff triple-double. Murray was the star of the last game. 8 3-pointers. He made 17 of 26 shots overall, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, and 3 steals. And Kawhi keeps pulling his weight. How about this stat? He's averaging 25.5 in the playoffs. He has had 20 straight games with at least 20 points. That is an impressive streak. Now, you look at the Clippers. They are playing with pressure. Let's remember, this would be the third time in 3 years that they lost in the first round. When you're coming back home, you say, my God, we lost in the first round 2 years ago. We lost in the first round last year. And on the other side, you have the Nuggets, who remember won the NBA championship 2 years ago and made it to the second round last year. So they've gotten past the first round each of those 2 starts. I'm not comfortable laying the 6.5 with the Clippers, but I do like the under in this situation. You look at the 5-game series. The first 4 games went under. The team shot 43 and 50%, 47 and 48, 40 and 48, 46 and 43. Why did last game go over the total? Denver shot 55.8%. The Clippers shot 52.4%. They will return back to defensive presence. The offense will not play as well as it did, with both teams shooting over 52%. Best bet number 1 here for Thursday, under 212, the Clippers and Denver. Guys, before I get to game number 2, which is actually the first game on tonight's NBA card, I do want to mention at WagerTalk, we have an incredible special. It's buy 2 weeks, get a week free. That's available for any capper, no limit. Take advantage, WagerTalk.com. Well, let's talk about those 2 trends in the first game tonight. Detroit is a 1.5-point favorite, the total of 214. One of these is on a play for the Knicks. One of them is to fade Pistons. So 2 separate systems, both very strong. First, round 1, NBA playoff teams off a loss as a home favorite. That's it. That's simple. 36 and 13, 73.5%. Teams as a dog or a small favorite up to -2. Home teams that are down 3-2 in the series, like Detroit is, 13 and 33 against the spread. That's 28.3%. So if you're thinking, boy, these home teams, they're down 3-2, they're in desperation mode. Many times that desperation mode just means added pressure. So let me repeat that. If home teams are down 3-2, trailing in the series, if they're a dog or a small favorite, only 13 and 33 against the spread. Here's another stat I stole from my son. Pistons are 1-9 as a favorite or a dog to +3.5 off a win as a dog. And let's remember, Detroit is a team that has struggled with wins. They had a great season this year, but they're not quite used to this playoff intensity where a veteran team like New York is. I will say this: Detroit has played very physical ball. And in fact, both Brunson and Hart had to sit down the last 2.5 minutes of the game. They only came back with 27 seconds left in that 3-point loss because they were physically beat up. Now, there is only one day off between games, so there is a concern for me with Brunson and Hart that they have to be healthy, but I think they will be here in this role. You look at the road teams 4-1. Detroit, New York won here, 118 to 116 in game 3. They won here 94 to 93 in game 2. Third straight game in Detroit, and fourth straight game that the home team has failed to cover. I do like New York in this game. I will grab the 1.5 points and expect them to cash this series and advance to round 2. Guys, thank you so much for taking time to watch these videos. I am proud to be part of the WagerTalk Media family. We have an awesome crew behind the stages, and this is why we have over 200,000 YouTube TV followers. Why don't you add your name to that list? Smash that like button. We certainly appreciate it and are very happy to continue giving you this free content.